Yo, 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 what up, what up? It's your boy Saigon and y'all father. And right now you are tuned in to Psych Word. You heard? Psych Word. Don't go nowhere.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning back into Psych Word. You are now on the couch with Rob Gerard. And on the line right now, we have New York City hip-hop artist Saigon the Yardfather. Saigon, what's going on, man?
What's up, pimpin'? What's up, Psych World? What's good?
Not much, man. Not much. Glad to have you on the air, man. Glad to have you on.
Yeah. You already know I rock with the Psych World. You know, I'm a little crazy upstairs, so I need to be. That's where I need to be at. You know, yeah, a bit Psych World status.
Absolutely.
7:30. Yeah.
Now let me just say this, Saigon. One thing that I always loved about you as an artist is that you're a storyteller, and you don't really glamorize the street life the way that some of, like, you know, for a lesser term, fake MCs do. When in reality, you have more street cred than most MCs do. You know what I mean?
I got more street cred than all these guys.
You know,
together.
And the way that you do it, it's like you slip a positive message into your songs, man, and I love it, man.
You got to, man. You know what I always say, man? Like, you're a man before you're an artist. And a lot of these artists are not men, because anybody who knows there's a man, you know, it's almost like the same way you wouldn't give a kid drugs, and you wouldn't tell a kid to do something wrong, because the sense of responsibility as an adult is going to come in. It's the same way you got to be responsible with the music that you're giving to millions and millions of your people. And you know, this is our music. This is ghetto music. It comes from the South Bronx. It comes from our neighborhoods. We see the way these kids is acting up, and the way and the effect that this music has on the kids. So if you're a popular artist, not even if you're trying to become popular, and your message is negative and solely negative, everybody ain't positive all the time. There might be some times where you're angry and you want to get it out, but for the most part, if you represent ignorance and negativity, then how could you look in the mirror and call yourself a man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Well said. Well said. And I want to ask you about your newest record label coming up when we talk about your new release and whatnot. But I want to back up for a moment. Now, you know, about a decade ago, about 10 years ago, man, you had this buzz that was going on, and The Greatest Story Never Told was going to be coming out, and it was going to be a hip-hop classic. And then all of a sudden, it was like, is the album ever dropping? And it seemed like Atlantic Records was really screwing you. You know, can you talk about that?
Because Atlantic Records had an agenda, and their agenda and my agenda wasn't the same. It was never about the music not being good enough. It was more so about, yo, man, we smut peddlers, pretty much. We smut peddlers. So it's I like to use Lupe as a good example, because Lupe Fiasco was up there at Atlantic with me. Now, you see how hard he's trying to get off that label?
Yeah.
He's trying every day. He goes and says, I'm doing everything to get out of Atlantic Records. And the only reason why they let him rock, because Lupe was smart enough to start rapping about skateboarding and something to trick his way in there, to let them to say, okay, you know, he's harmless. It ain't smut, but it ain't nothing that's going to rile the people up and get the people to really think. So, you know, he snuck in with that kick push and daydreaming and all of that. So Lupe got in the door, and then he started doing what he wanted to do. And then they said, oh, he tricked us. You know, so I salute Lupe for that. Me, I just came off the rip. My first single was Pain in My Life. And they kept saying, hey, man, you know, young Felicia was only 4 when she learned how to ride a bike. Now she's 14, riding every time, Dick and Mike. And I said, look, y'all going to give me a voice to talk to my neighborhood, and these little girls is promiscuous, and these little wannabe thugs who's going to end up in prison, throwing their life away, catching felonies where they can't get a job when they can't come out, and when they can't, but they'd rather me try to glorify gangster and you know, be misogynistic and talk about, you know, screwing girls and all that. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And they was like, either you do it or you're going to sit on the shelf. And I was like, well, you know what? Put me on the shelf.
Man, and I tell you what, I mean, I think artists with a lesser heart, they would have said, you know what, fine, I will sell out and I will put out that bang bang stuff.
Absolutely.
Just for you.
I've seen, I'm not going to name names, but I've seen multiple people do it. I've seen them drink the Kool-Aid. They drink it right in front of me. And it was like, yo, I got to get this money, fam. I got to get this money. Like, if all you live for is money, then you know, then you pretty much worthless, man. You're pretty much worthless because, you know, money can't buy me. Money can't buy me. and a lot of people could be bought. It's like, I don't know how many of y'all was wrestling fans growing up, but growing up in WWF when it was popular, you know, there was a guy called $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Ted DiBiase. He had Virgil the bodyguard.
Yeah, Virgil. Yeah, Virgil would do anything that Ted DiBiase said, and he said, you know why Virgil does what I say? Because everybody got a price for the $1 Million Man. That was his slogan. That was his slogan, and that's what these record label slogans should be for these artists, because a lot of them sell out.
So basically, what you did with Atlantic Records was you took the $1 Million belt and you hit him in the face.
And I hit him with the face. Yeah, yeah. Virgil flipped out. Virgil, what's going on with Virgil? Virgil was rebelling. I think there was an episode where Virgil did do that. You know, but it was after like years and years of having that steel boot of oppression on his throat. You know.
Absolutely, and it seemed like what you did was, you know, you realized the Atlantic thing wasn't working out, and I know you were dropping mixtapes. You never stopped working on music, but then all of a sudden you started popping up on HBO. You were on the Entourage.
Yeah.
How did you end up getting hooked up with that?
You know, a friend of mine who had a good link in there, G. Roberson, who's one of the best managers in the game. He just got me to audition. You know, they didn't know that show was going to be what it was at the time. It was so new. And we kind of recorded my episodes before it really ever aired. Nobody knew it was going to be a hit show, so we didn't think nothing of it at the time. But you know, when it started to air and people started to see it was a hit, I knew I had it in the pipeline, and that was just a blessing. I think I'm a firm believer in when you do right, you know, good things happen to you, and that was one of the blessings that, you know, came from Allah, God, from Jesus, Allah, whoever. Mother Nature, whatever you want to call the power of positivity, I believe it came from there. And I continue to be blessed to be able to sustain, you know, some kind of relevancy over the past, you know, 11 years.
And who knew that Saigon, this dude who was locked up from prison, had the acting chops in him?
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Right? Who knew that?
I know, right? But I gotta credit those guys, man. Those guys made it easy for me because they made me feel so comfortable. And Doug Ellen and Mark Wahlberg were smart because what they did was they made us hang out for like 3 days before we even shot. So we kind of like knew each other by the time it was kind of time to shoot. So it was like we was friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
We hung out and just, you know, so it was kind of easy by the time it came time to shoot because we all knew we all kind of developed a friendship. Me and Jerry Ferrara, like close friends to this day. I talked to his mother, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
We just did the movie, and I hope they keep my scenes in there because I don't have a lot, but I got some good scenes in there. But you know, they gotta take all these hours of footage and narrow it down to a 2-hour movie, so you never know what's gonna make it and what's gonna not. But I shot some cool scenes in the Entourage movie.
Nice, man, nice. Now talk about VH1 Love and Hip Hop for a little while. Now, how did you end up getting connected with that, and why did it end?
Oh, that's a funny story, man. I ended up getting connected with it because some girl went and lied. That's what I mean, the power of positivity, because, you know, at the time I'm like, okay, I still want to do my music, but, you know, I'm an older guy. There's a whole new generation out there, you know what I'm saying, who don't know who I am, who have no clue of what I am. And when some girl went and lied and told her she was dating me, and they was like, oh, you think Saigon will get on the show? She was like, oh, yeah, he loves the show. Lying. She was lying to him. So she came to me and started saying, you know, acting like she loves me and all this. And I was like, hey, you know, I'm single, it's cool. But then she comes and she throws it on me. Yo, I got us an interview with Mona Scott for Love and Hip Hop. So I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, yeah, they want to interview us. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Worst case scenario, you know, they say no. But best case scenario, I might manipulate the situation and, you know, reboot my career through this VH1 engine, because a lot of people watch that show, especially in our demographic and our community. Mostly women, but I was like, hey, you know, I've found a way.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I start to do the show. They don't like the girl that lied. They realize that our storyline is fake. So they was like, they kicked her off and kept me, wanted to keep me. They was like, you got anybody else? So, you know, I had a baby by a girl that I didn't know, and I just invited her on the show with me. I was like, yo, you want to do Love and Hip Hop? She was like, but I'm like, only way it's going to work is if, you know, we have our son up there. We can't be acting foolish like the rest of these people. no ratchet stuff. She's like, okay, whatever you say. So when she signed that contract, she just turned into a whole different person. And that's why anybody who watched that show, they could see me and her fight. We didn't get like, I quit. I was like, I'm not doing it. But they're like, yo, you can't quit in the middle. We got hours of footage. You can't just. I was like, you know what? I'll do what I got to do to get through it. That's why you don't see me on that show a lot. Because I was just doing exactly the most minimal I could do to finish out the season. Because I knew that wasn't for me. Because it's all based around drama. And I'm not, that's for females, man. That's for females. It's a female thing. So I was like, you know what? Let me try to do this, make some coins. I picked up a few coins. Man, I made about $65,000 to $70,000 to curse my baby mother out. It was all right. It was, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But you know what? You got to just use things to position yourself. Because had I not did Love and Hip Hop, I probably wouldn't have Split Ink right now. Because while I was on that show, I was out, making moves. When you're on TV, people are more prone to listening to anything you got to say. You dig what I'm saying? So while I was on the show, I was going around and I had ideas that were bigger than the show, but I was like, hey, we can use the show for da-da-da-da-da. It didn't happen because I shot with Just Blaze. And they didn't use none of my music looks. The only thing they used was me fighting and arguing. So I was like, man.
And you know what? That's what they do. That's what they do with those reality shows, man, because they know the women.
They shoot you, but what they use is anything that's dramatic and drama and arguing and fighting. You could be praying for 5 hours and get up and say, man, I'm having a fucked up day. And that's all they're going to use. They're not going to use none of you praying. They're not going to use, so that's just how. But I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, so I don't blame them. That's what they do. They sell drama. It was like that before I got on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I have to ask you, where do you stand with the whole Prodigy Mobb Deep situation? Because for a moment it looked like it was deaded, and then all of a sudden it looked like it might have started back up again. Where are you with that?
I don't like Prodigy, man. I don't like fake dudes, man. He's fake, you know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why we had a fight from the first place, you know what I'm saying? Because don't be one way when you by yourself, and then when you with a bunch of dudes, you're a whole nother person. Like, I'm not gonna do that to you. If me and you say we ain't got no problems, and I'm saying, hey, we can fight right now, and you're like, ain't no problem, and that's that, and we squash it, and we shake hands, and we say, God bless. And then I see you and I'm with 20 dudes, I'm not gonna be like, yo, they go Prodigy, and that's what he tried to do to me. Like, me and him had totally squashed it. And then he seen me when he was with 50 dudes, and I'm with 2 dudes. And then he brings the problem back up. And that's the reason why. And then then after that, after he got out of jail, I was like, I ain't got no problem with it. Then his book come out, and I'm all in his book. He's talking records in his book. And I'm like, dude, man, like, make up your fucking mind. Like, do we have a problem or not? So now I'm going to be the one now we got a problem. Now we got a problem. And it's going to stay like that. I don't like that dude. He's a fraud, and I don't like frauds, man. He's never been a gangster. He never was no bout ass. He never was no thug. He never was doing the shit I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't vouch and try to glorify it, but you was never putting in no work in the street. You never been known for putting in work, ever. I know them kids from Queensbridge was putting in work, and you wasn't one of them. You a rapper, dude. Like, stay in your lane, you know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. He got in that trouble for messing with some real dudes, like True Life. That's my brother. God bless. He's about to come home soon.
Is he True Life is coming home soon?
True Life will be home in less than a year, bro.
Okay. Now, how do you feel with the whole True Life situation? Real quick, if you don't want to speak on it, I understand. But it seemed like when Jay was going through that drama with Dipset, it seemed like Jay really used True Life as a pawn. I mean, that's kind of how it looked.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all, man. Because Jay never came and said, "Yo, True, get at them, dude."
Okay.
True didn't like Dipset before he signed with Rockefeller.
Gotcha.
He didn't like them from him and Jim Jones having their personal thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you feel like the whole
that didn't have nothing to do with the whole Rockefeller. He got signed to Rockefeller after that. He just was like, yo, don't fall back, Jay. I don't like these niggas anyway. You know what I'm saying? It was more so like that, because he didn't like them way before he did the Rockefeller deal, and it was some street shit. Because these rappers, this is what goes wrong. Like, we street dudes, man. We rap to try to get out the street. These dudes get deals and try to become street dudes. You dig what I'm saying? So they basketball players. These niggas was growing up. They was smart in school and whatever. But we came from the street, and we tried, like, what could I do to get out the street? So when these dudes start trying to mingle with that street life, and then they get caught up in it, And then they realize it's too much when shit get real and bullets is, then they want to start saying, hey, you know, we rappers. So I'm like, man, then go rap. Stop trying to be something you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of like what Al Pacino was telling Steinfeld in Carlito's Way. He says you can't get a late start. You know, you can't read about it in no book, and you can't get a late start. You know, messing around with the street stuff. So,
yeah, man, exactly. Like, I don't got nothing to prove to nobody, and I never try to be nothing I'm not. And when you start doing that, that's when, you know, that stuff should happen.
Definitely, man.
You can't be 4 different people in life. That just don't work. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. It's like when somebody living a double life and got 2 families and shit. Eventually, one of your families is gonna find out about the other, and you gonna fight over both of them. That's what these dudes are. They live double lives, man. One year that they gangstified, the next minute they church boys when the shit get real, you know? And you know, that's never peace and love, man. In the history of time, that has never worked out for nobody. You know, you're gonna get exposed. You're gonna, Lord willing, you don't lose your life. Look at all these rappers that end up getting shot at, and dudes trying to kill them, and then they end up, yo, we gotta keep the peace. This is too. But meanwhile, when it's in your advantage, then you, yo, it's gangster. We don't play the game. This is gangster. Blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as somebody get killed, that's what happens in the street. Or somebody go to jail, then it's, oh man, this is messed up. Like, come on, that's what comes with that. You play with fire, you burn, man.
Definitely. And you don't have to say a rapper's name, but I know the first rapper that comes to mind when you say that is Rick Ross. Because, you know, he goes from being a CO, then all of a sudden he goes to getting in the studio, and he gets shot at, and then he's jumping on the Mike Brown tribute.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And it's sad because he's another guy who gets caught up messing with real dudes, having real dudes around him, and then when shit starts happening, when real shit happens, these niggas don't know how to deal with it. I got my best friend, True Life is my best friend. He's sitting in prison right now. He's sitting on a murder beef, you know what I'm saying? Because that's who he was. He never came out and trying to be. He came out right now and told niggas, I'm not for play, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not no rap. I'm trying to get out the hood. His name stands for the righteous uniting those living in a fantasy environment. True Life. That's what True Life means. The righteous uniting those living in a fantasy environment. He came out. If you listen to his music, it's all positive. And these guys take that the wrong way, and then you end up seeing that he ain't, you know, he's a different breed, and then he has to end up in one of these situations.
Definitely. Now, in the studio right now, we also have our DJ Chris Rush, and he has a question for you.
Yo, what's up, Saigon? I got a question, man. Who are your 5 favorite top hip-hop artists of all time?
Hip-hop artists. I'm glad you said hip-hop artists and not rappers. My top 5 hip-hop artists of all time. Whoa, that's I would have to say Jay-Z. I would have to say Nas, of course. I would have to say Ice Cube. I would have to say see, this is where it starts to get tricky.
Ice Cube seems to sneak in a lot of people's lists. Like, you know, not a lot, but, you know, he sneaks in, man. He's one of those guys that's kind of like...
Because you got to look at Ice Cube. Ice Cube was the voice behind NWA.
Yeah.
Too. People just look at his solo career and forget about that whole NWA run he had. Ice Cube was writing everybody's rap.
Well, let's make it interesting. How about, like, give me, like, 3 to 5 of your worst hip-hop artists of all time.
3 to 5 of my worst hip-hop artists.
Someone that should just put the mic down years ago type thing.
It's hard to say that because there's been so many dudes that come and go. They have one hit, and then they go away because they was, you know what I'm saying? If a guy had longer, if he was able to last for 2-3 albums, you can't put him with the worst because there's dudes that only had one song, and then they went away. And there's thousands of those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's kind of say worst because the worst would have to be a lot of those. You can't even put Trinidad James as the worst because there was other worse one-hit wonders than him. At least his one hit was like you could rock with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's dudes who had one hit and he was like, that. Not only was it a hit, but it was trash. Like like, who let the dogs out? Like, what was that? You know what I'm saying?
All right, Saigon, let me ask you real quick. We're nearing the end of the interview. Who are the new cats that are coming up now that you're listening to? Who are those guys that you got your eye on? You're like, watching.
I'm not gonna lie, he's not so new, but I the rapper that impresses me a lot is Jay Electronica. I love Jay Electronica. I even love the way he's doing his whole career, doing it his way. Like, you don't gotta flood the game with music because that's what's demanded of a new artist. He put out verses even when he won, and people still waiting for him. That shows you that he's good at what he does. I really like J. Cole. I like J. Cole a lot when he's doing him. I don't like when he's trying to make them radio records. They work, but that's when I think that he's not shining his brightest. I like who else is out there that I like on the young tip? Nothing pops out. But who's not that bad, and I slept on him a little bit until I did y'all might get mad at me, but I did a little bit. Bobby Shmurda's not as bad as people think he is. He's actually a beast. I went back because I heard all the hype, and I was like, oh, this is one. And then I went and did a little due diligence. He's not the best rapper in the world, but I kind of like dudes who you sound believable when they rap. You know what I'm saying? And
oh, sorry.
Yeah, and it kind of resonates. Like his music resonates to me.
See, he definitely has that Chief Keef feel. He's got that kind of like.
He's way better than Chief Keef, though.
Yeah. No.
I like Lil Bibby, though. Oh, I like Lil Bibby from Chicago.
Okay. And what's crazy about the whole Shmurda thing is his track.
Lil Bibby's on my new album, yo.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's on my. I did a record on my album. It's called Mechanical Animals, and it's four generations of hip hop on one song. It's me. It's Cool G Rap, who came in the 80s.
Wow.
It's Memphis Bleak, who people sleep on.
Dude, Bleak, man.
Bleak is so slept on because he's
in Jay's shadow. He's been in Jay.
Yeah, he's standing next to the brightest star in the universe. But Bleak be getting it off, and he got it off on this record. It's Cool G Rap for the 80s. It's Bleak with the 90s. It's me for the 2000s, and it's Little Bibby for the 2010s. He's a new cat.
That track sounds insane.
And I can't wait to see where this record, because it's going to surprise a lot of people because they have 40 years. That's 40 years. That's 4 generations and going by decades. So that's 4 different on one record, and it resonates real well.
Absolutely. That track sounds crazy.
It goes to show you that hip hop is timeless, man. You can't, because honestly, G-Rap aired us all out. So what does that go to show you? A dude who came in and he clearly aired. It ain't even like I know it was a close one, and it wasn't even that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, why they ain't go back and do their verses? So it's one of those, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Now, real quick, tell me about the new label, Squid Ink Squad Records, and the release of number 3, right? Yeah,
this Greatest Story Number Told, Chapter 3. This is first of all, I'm gonna tell about Squid Ink. Squid Ink is a new label I formed with this online media conglomerate advertising and marketing company called CPXI. You can look them up, CPXI. They're a huge company that does probably 90% of the ads that you see on the internet. When you get them pop-ups that you can't get rid of, and you gotta wait and before you watch your video, that they're responsible for a lot of that. So what I did was I came to them with an idea. It's not just the labels. It also comes with a website which is called Hip Hop My Way. And I looked at my whole career, and I always wanted to do Hip Hop My Way, and I always met these obstacles because they're like, no, this is the way it's done. We're trying to make money, so we don't really care about your artistry. And there's so many young artists that want to do music from their heart, but they don't have no outlet. So I was like, let's create an outlet for these a breeding ground for these new dope artists who really don't gotta use auto-tune or feel like they gotta sing like Drake or feel like they gotta, make up a dance like Shmurda, and they dope and they want to make music. So I'm like, Hip Hop DX might not. You got to get a buzz to get on DX. You got to get a buzz to get on Rap Radar. So I'm like, let's create a place for them, and it's hiphopmyway.com. And, you know, there's dope producers on there, there's dope artists, and, you know, we build them up in there, we get them ready, and then if we like them, we sign them to Squid Ink. If not, we just go let them build up their fan base, and then hopefully you end up on Def Jam, hopefully you end up on wherever you want to go. But we already getting over 1 million uniques a month, so, you know, these kids are starting to get people seeing them, and they appreciate that.
That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. Now, if the listeners want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Social media, website?
Yeah, social media, man. I'll be jumping on Twitter at The Real Saigon, or Instagram, Saigon_NYC, Facebook, Brian Carinard. That's my name, my album. September 30th, my album come out. I'm not pushing it back. I don't care about how much buzz is there. Everybody care about that first week. And if you I don't care about no first week, man. Because when you put the heat out, the heat gonna last for a year. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's 52 weeks in a year. All these artists are so conditioned to build you up, and then everybody go by, and then they sell 90% of their records the first week because they know the album is trash. They got the little singles, and the rest of the album is garbage. So what we doing is I'm sticking to my date, September 30th, and, you know, the album is phenomenal. I got Big Daddy Kane on my album, man.
Wow.
Kane don't mess with these young suckers. Kane, to tell you straight up, man. You know, I don't like what hip hop has become. You know, he got a few dudes he rock with, but you don't see him on dudes projects. It ain't like, dude, he's a legend, man. You can't mention hip hop without mentioning Big Daddy Kane.
Absolutely,
You know what
man.
I'm saying? If hip hop had their own Bible, Kane would have a book in that Bible. So many artists came under Kane, it don't even make no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Well, Saigon, thank you very much for stopping by Psych Word. It was a pleasure having you on, man.
Yeah. Keep it going, guys, man. Psych Ward, you already know, man. For the real hip hop, man. For the crazy, crazy hip hop heads, Psych Ward is where it's at, man. Thank y'all.